1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriots, to serve our fatherland, one nation under freedom. Your Excellency, the government of the Federation, Chief of Staff, U.S. Council, NIREC, His Eminence, Co-Chairmen, NIREC, His Eminence, ladies and gentlemen, NIREC, this is your meeting and
Bishop Stephen, also the chairman of Canada States.
The Secretary, National Secretary.
Digness Mrs. Victoria Bola Ihesolo.
Your Excellency, Muhammadu Buhari.
Abubakar, Sultan. Thank you.
Archbishop General President, National Committee President.
Member NIREC.
Member NIREC.
Who is also that Mr. President can hold the Co-Chairman
of NIREC, a 60-man body of Christian and Muslim leaders across the country are in front of you to present a short brief on our own concern and the outcome of our meetings. Before I invite my co-chair, the president of CAN, as we used to do, one of us normally speaks and the other just acknowledge. I would like to personally and most especially thank Mr. President for this very, very prompt granting of our request to meet with you. It's a very important comment we have to make to put on record of the promptness you agreed to see us and listen to our comments on this issue. I'd like to thank you most sincerely. Thank also the Chief of Staff. And this afternoon, like I've said, we are here as members of NIREC after our meeting with Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities on this thorny issue of continuous, unnecessary strikes that kept our children, that had been keeping our children out of school into their homes. And we therefore requested also to meet with us for us to hear from them. And today, after meeting with them, we are here to briefly inform you of our meeting with them so as to enable you to take decision on what is the next course. But we want to assure you of our total commitment to support the government in providing solution to this perennial problem of strikes. I would like to call on CAN President, the co-chair, to read the short address. Thank you.
Chair, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, so as to save time. Your Excellency, we want to begin by appreciating you once again and your good office for granting us this opportunity of meeting with you. It is an honor well appreciated on behalf of all the members of Nigeria Interreligious Council and almost 200 million Nigerians who profess Islam and Christianity. Being our duty as people of faith, we shall continue to pray for you and the nation, because it is by so doing that we also help in the collective building of Nigeria. May the Almighty God continue to guide and guide you in all your undertakings. Our meeting here with you is on a single point agenda, which we consider to be of national interest. Before stating our point clearly, it will be of interest to note that since the establishment of the Nigeria Interreligious Council in 1999 by our two faith communities, this is the first time we are intervening in the matter we are here for today. We are compelled to intervene because, as the moral conscience of the nation, we understand the enormous responsibilities placed on our shoulders by our calling as religious leaders. We also know the expectations of Nigerians from us, since they know that you, as our national leader, are still followers in either the mosque or in the church, where we all gather together to worship. The crux of the matter is about the persistent challenge of academic staff union of universities going on strike, and the need to find a sustainable solution to the perennial and destructive strikes that threaten the sanctity and integrity of our university system. This issue came to the fore while between the State of the Nation during the fourth quarter meeting of NIREC on December 9, 2021. At the meeting, our attention was drawn to another impending ASUU strike, and we were disturbed that the union that was on a strike for about a year during the pandemic was still contemplating embarking on another strike. We unanimously stood against it and resolved to intervene. The immediate action we took was to call ASUU to stop or suspend the strike, with a promise to meet with them after suspending the strike to know the rationale behind the perennial strikes. ASUU accepted our appeal and suspended the strike as noted in their release dated December 19, 2021. The ASUU president in the release under reference stressed, in particular, special cognizance was taken of the pledges made by the Nigerian Interreligious Council to make further consultations on the crisis in the coming days with a view to finding an amicable solution. Your Excellency, sir, our meeting with you today is part of our commitment to seeking ways of averting strikes. Before now, we had invited ASUU to discuss the problems they are having with the government, with them, beyond the snippets obtained by members from the pages of newspapers. The meeting was held on January 10, 2022, and ASUU stated that the bone of contention between the union and the federal government centered around 8 issues. Number 1, inconclusive renegotiation of 2009 ASUU/federal government agreement. Number 2, university transparency accountability solutions UTAS issues. Number 3, integrated payroll and personnel information systems and distortion in salary payment challenges. Number 4, visitation panels to federal universities report issues. Number 5, funding for revitalization of public universities. Number 6, and academic allowance. Number 7, state universities. Number 8, promotion areas. While we still hope to deepen consultations in future, especially with the key stakeholders who understand the technical details, we find it imperative to, as the father of the nation, bring these issues before you, sir, and present our understanding of them, first with one or two suggestions. We can extrapolate 3 strands from the presentation of ASU: the personnel, the institutional, and national issues. While the personnel and institutional components concern the individual members and universities respectively, the national component concerns the universities. Like 3 consecutive circles, each strand is embedded in the other, and we consider it necessary to break them down to the immediate, intermediate, and ultimate approaches or future approaches long term. We are aware too that some of the issues are being addressed somehow by the government. Our appeal: Your Excellency, the personnel strand that will resonate with many will require your kind and immediate attention. This is the argument that university lecturers have been receiving the same salary since 2009. If this argument is true, especially when their salary is cross-differentiated with other workers like the judicial officers, the health officers, the security agents, etc., who have enjoyed salary increment over the period, it is worth being looked into as well for the university lecturers or teachers. More importantly, we appeal that approval be given for immediate return to table to conclude the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. Given that the first issue of concern is the renegotiation of agreement, the maxim that we should never negotiate out of fear, but should never fear to negotiate, comes to mind. If the renegotiation process continues to conclusion, issues that government is not comfortable with can be renegotiated with a view to reaching only implementable agreements. This is the appeal to Your Excellency. We believe that with renegotiation in place, other issues will be adequately addressed along the line. In conclusion, sir, it is said that he who cannot appreciate people cannot appreciate God. We want to thank Your Excellency once again for approving this meeting with the speed of light. We also duly acknowledge the Honorable Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim A. Gambari, for his immense cooperation and expeditious facilitation of this interface. We thank the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation for the immense support given to NIREC, especially for facilitating this meeting. We are grateful as we remain hopeful that our appeal will be considered and acted upon with speed. Thank you very much.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation. I would like to welcome Your Highness, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Abubakar, and Your Honor, the President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Dr. Samson, Allah Supo, Ayokunle, for your commitment to our people and our country. The roles you occupy in service to your faithfuls and most Nigerians place significant burden on you to be honest, accessible, just, and above all, peacemakers. Your constant desire to offer advice on issues confronting the country is appreciated and noted. I must also thank you for your praise for the country, this administration, for me, and for my family. This opportunity also lends itself for the whole world to see the type of a country that we wish to bequeath to our children and grandchildren. A Nigeria where our diversity is converted to our strengths and our weaknesses safeguarded from manipulation and exploitation. I wholeheartedly commend your efforts in intervening in their long strike by ASU and holding consultations with the two parties. No society which wishes itself well neglects its educational system and all its component parts. Therefore, we must value our custodians of knowledge while demonstrating that indeed the service they render in the shape of molding our students to grow into valued and productive members of our society. Accordingly, I have tasked my Chief of Staff, the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment and Education, to make resolving this issue a priority. I have received the following briefing from the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, which summarizes where we are today, given the various interested parties. A, to show our commitment, several payments have been made over the last 6 months, addressing several of the issues you raised, details of which the Minister of Labor and Employment can make available to you. B, funding has also been provided for infrastructure development across several public universities, and several of them have begun drawing down on this facility to improve their level of infrastructure. C, finally, and perhaps the most contentious of issues regarding the decision to use either or the University Transparency and Accountability Solution payroll software. D, as you may be aware, the integrated payroll and personnel information system was introduced as a means of blocking leakages. The federal government was able to save over 100 billion naira annually from the core civil service alone. In view of the resistance from ASU, we devised University Transparency Accountability Solutions, which is now on the table. E, I have also been informed that system assessment report conducted by NITDA has been shared by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy to all shareholders, including ASU, and they are to make the appropriate modifications and report their recommendations. In briefing members of ASU, it is important that you share with them that government regards them and the service they provide to our nation very highly. However, they should be cognizant of the fiscal pressures that we are currently facing. Nonetheless, we remain committed to honoring our promises. For their part, I would like to encourage ASU to continue to work with us towards finding solutions to the challenges that confront us. This administration is committed to engagement and dialogue, and I urge them to stay the course towards a joint resolution in the best interest of our children and the nation. Thank you May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.